Talk with it while I meet Greg Fann, the preacher man, and his sidekick Shanan Jones. Frank discussions of issues affecting the ATL, Fulton County, the state of Georgia, the nation, and around the world. And now, here they are, live and in living color, the team of Jones and Fann, the preacher man.
Well, welcome again to another edition of Straight Talk, as we are doing Straight Talk around the world with yours truly, Greg Fann, the preacher man, and Shanan E. Jones. It's so much going on around the world, around our nation, all around our state, and around our county, and around our city. It's just so much going on. And we're going to talk about it tonight here on Straight Talk. We're going to talk about some of the things that we've been talking about, okay, and of course we'll be talking about other things that's in the news that's going on in our country, in our city, in our state, in our county, in the world. All right, so we'll be back with more after Miss C. Miss C is out today, but she did her part because Miss C's been ill. But she did do Straight Talk. So we're going to have Miss C with Straight Talk, and hopefully Shanan will be on. If not, we're going on with the program anyway, because Shanan got the baby. Then Shannon's just Shanan. He may be doing the news. He may be on a truck. The weather may have brought him on the truck. It's cold outside. The weather is frightful. But we're moving on with nothing but Straight Talk around the world.
Hello, Miss C here. You can't see me, but I can see you. Listen, I've got a few announcements that I want to tell you about, but I'm in the hospital right now, and Greg is going to be my eyes and ears. So I don't know what he's going to be doing while I'm giving you the news, but anyway, he's on his own, okay? There's going to be a bowling party in celebration of Reverend Thomas G. Ashford's birthday, Saturday, November 19th, 2023, from 12:30 to 2:30 p.m. at the Stars and Strikes Bowling Center, 1751 Mount Zion Boulevard in Stone Mountain. Faith Memorial Church continues fall revival with the elders of Faith Memorial as guest speakers. On November 5th, Elder Carlos Highsmith shares the word, and on November 13th, Elder Steve Ward will bring the message. All services begin at 9 a.m. Faith Memorial Church is located at 1676 Old Rex Morrow Road in Morrow, Georgia, where my good friend Bishop Ray Neal is pastor. The A.D. King Foundation presents its 14th Annual Youth Empowerment Fundraising Awards Gala Night, November the 11th, 7 p.m. at the A.D. King Foundation at Atlanta Metropolitan State College, 1630 Metropolitan Parkway in Atlanta, in the Student Conference Center. To get more details, log on to www.adkingfoundation.com. The Bernice King Show Live of the legendary WIGO AM 1570 invites you to a big gospel production featuring Atlanta's gospel greats, such as Rosa Carter and the New Faithful Disciples, The Gospel Explosion, Dr. L.C. Wheat and the Anointed Voices, The Echoes of Zion, The New Inspirational Voices, Lonnie Kelly, and Together as One. The special guests will be ministers of recognition. Your host will be Evangelist Bernice King, Brother Eli Smith, and Kevin Collins, General Manager of WIGO. This big gospel production will be held Sunday, November 3rd, 2023, 2 p.m. at the College Park City Auditorium, 3631 Main Street in College Park. For more information, call 888-361-1570. Now listen, there are a few things I'd like for you to do. I'd like for you to like us. I'd like for you to subscribe to us, and you'll see those little buttons right there on the front. And I'd like for you to leave comments and let us know how we're doing. And also share us. Don't keep Straight Talk News to yourself. We've got a lot of great things going on with Straight Talk News, and everybody ought to know about it. And listen, next week you'll see me. I'll be out of the hospital, and you won't have to put up with pretend Cynthia's. Bye now.
Well, Shannon's here. I told you he's feeding his face. I told you he was going to be doing something. Something. That's just Shanan. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, Bishop. How you doing?
If I was doing any better, I'd be feeding my face, but mine's is on the table here. They can't see it, but it's here.
I'm looking at you say, I got the world on a string, or whatever Frank Sinatra used to say. You got the whole world. Jesus got it in his hand, and you got it behind you.
Listen, I just want to start off with a conversation today. Miss C she was ill. She's been ill, and that was her doing her church news and information. And let's keep Miss C in prayer.
We're gonna keep her in prayer.
She's an integral part of this program, and we just love Miss C. We cut up a lot, but we just love Miss C in terms of all that she do for the program. So let's keep her in prayer. But Shannon, I got an opportunity today. You know, you had asked me to look at it.
And she can't be replaced by nobody, including you, Greg Fann. So we need her, whether she's in the hospital, in the sick room, in the courtroom, wherever she is, we need her to do her part. Because she cannot be replaced. Okay?
But
all right, now go on with what happened to you.
But I was trying to tell you, I want to let you know this. I trained her, so she's got to be good. I trained her, okay?
Yeah.
I keep telling y'all. Yeah. I keep telling. If you ask Miss C, if she's honest about it, she would tell you that I trained her. But anyway, we're gonna leave it alone.
Train became a locomotive. I tell you.
You know, you told me earlier today. You said, "Look at the Fulton County Commission meeting. Look at that commission meeting." And I went back and looked at it. And I looked at the attacks on the Fulton County sheriff and the continuous attack on the sheriff of Fulton County, and you know what's happening with him and this and that, and and I'm saying to myself, y'all, you constantly attacking him, but look at what other sheriffs and other jails are doing. It's overcrowding. These jails are being overcrowded. The population in Georgia is blowing up at the scene. Crime is everywhere throughout the country. And but you're dealing with this sheriff, and you're saying that he's not doing the job because so many people are being killed in the jail. Now we sympathize with that. No, we don't play with that. We sympathize with people losing their lives.
Right.
We really do.
That's right.
But when you're going to blame one person, yes, they say the buck stopped with him. He is the sheriff. However, when we look at this thing, Shannon, from a real standpoint, and I also watch, the senators. The senators went out to see the jail, right? And to see what was going on. And one of the things that I was watching them talking today and questioning the sheriff's legal staff and his chief deputy and the chief jailer and his chief administrator. And I'm listening to I'm looking at the people asking the question, and they were saying, is that the sheriff didn't invite those people to come to this jail. The sheriff didn't sell tickets for them to come to the jail. You got one man that's in that jail, been in there 10 years. They say 10 years because he has mental issues. 10 years he's been in that Fulton County jail. 10 years in Fulton County jail. 10 years. That's his home. He know that jail in and out, right? After 10 years. 10 years as an unadjudicated inmate.
How do you stay in a jail for 10 years?
10 years,
Not
man.
Prison,
10 years.
But a jail.
10 years.
How do you stay in a jail for 10 years?
10 years. I'm telling you, they said it's been 10 years. And the reality is that they haven't ruled whether or not he has the mental capacity to even go on trial. The chairman of the committee said this, one of the senators, he's chairman of the committee, he said, there's no way possible a person's be sitting in jail for 10 years. You need to make a decision whether or not he's mentally incompetent and send him to a mental institution or sentence him for the crime he has committed. Right? 10 years, that's too long to assess whether a person has the capacity to be able to be tried. The 10
months
years
is too long.
I mean, it's ridiculous. And you know, they talked about how many people were there at the jail, and he pretty much laid it out. And one of the sheriff from the Sheriff's Association said this is a problem all over the state with jails. You know, the overcrowding. But you know, it's not just germane to Fulton County. Let's just be clear. Even though a lot of people see in the media how people dying in the jail, yes, that's true. But they're dying in other jails and other prisons also too. But the issue is and he said it is the court system pretty much. That's what they're saying is because they're not hearing these cases fast enough. They're not sentencing these people quick enough, either releasing them or sentencing them or giving them a bond so they can get out of the jail, right? Till their trial date. That's what he said. They say that's a major part of the problem. They're not releasing. They're not getting them out. You got people in the Fulton County Jail that need to be in prison, in the state penitentiary. But they're not there. They're still housed in the Fulton County Jail. I mean, that's causing
overcrowding. Well, you know you're going to have an overcrowding situation when you have somebody there for 10 years. You know that. You know that. I mean, that jail is not equipped to be able to house the type of inmates that come in there every day and have a backlog of folks that have been there for 10 years. In other words, there's only so much room. So you got someone that's been somewhere for 10 years. Seems like you look at another solution because you can't keep adding to. There's no outflow from the inflow that's coming in. What's the exit strategy? So if you don't have an exit strategy, you're just piling on and piling on, then you know that that's going to have serious consequences to the structural and of every other structure of that facility. Because anytime you have a facility that's built again in 89, that the jail was built, and they were ready for a new one. The Rikers Island in New York was built in 1930s, and they're not talking about building another. So, you know, there's something wrong with that. Somebody in there for 10 years, something wrong with that. And it's not just the sheriff's problem. But what's happening is that you have folks that are grandstanding. And I wish we could roll some tape about that, about the Fulton County, the VOC from yesterday, because Marvin Arrington, he said something when he said, "Oh, what a tangled web we weave," and he started going into the things that he was going into. This grandstanding has to stop. Pray tell, what's the solution? I mean, what would anybody that's sitting there judging him do when they were dying before he got there, and they're going to be dying after he leaves? If you don't fix a broken system, and the man is saying, I can't fix it because you got me in a pit. I'm in a pit here. I can't do anything. Get me into a facility that we can manage and pull together structures and programs to be able to properly deal with the welfare of inmates that are coming in on an hourly basis.
And Shanan, you make a very valid point when you say that, because he can't put up a sign that says the jail is full, no more. You can't put up that sign. See, at a hotel you can say we have no more vacancies, but you can't say that at the jail. You study put it. You can't. If they commit a crime, they got to be arrested, and they have to go to jail.
That's right.
And if they don't have money to bond out, or if there is no bond set, or if they don't have a trial date where they can go to court for a judge to decide whether or not they get probation or a fine, or or they go to a state institution, then here we are, and that's a problem. That's a problem. And now is my understanding now that the Fulton County Jail only has about 6 inmates now sleeping on floors. Presently, at the point, based on what they were saying, probably 6 of them sleeping in those little boats, right? They're not on the floors, but they're in those little boats, right? And if you've seen it on TV, you've seen the little boat that they were laying in. Then it's 400 and some people that are there that are accused of murder in the Fulton County Jail. They can't just release those people, so those people got to go to court. So those people, they stuck in there until they have their trial date, right? And then when you talk about misdemeanors and other felonies that may not be as serious as murder, but are intent to murder someone, those people, they're not going to get out anytime until they go to court, until they're sentenced to the state jail, or they released because they found to be innocent. Yes, do what now?
Oh hell! You said go to court? You mean 10 years?
Well, hey, only thing that I can say to that is
maybe we can house them up in the courtroom. Shoot, since the judges don't, maybe we need to put them in the judges' chamber. Maybe that'll move it a little bit. In other words, I say it in a kidding way, but I'm serious. Power comes with a demand, and change comes with a demand. And I know that the caseloads are astronomical, but the plan is, what do you do with the caseloads? What do you need to do? So, we need to, at some point, I think we should talk to, Keith and some others, Keith Gammett, Solicitor General of Fulton County, and others, because you need to look at some things that we can do through the courts to be able to move folks out of that, to move folks out of there and move the pressure off of the jail. But you didn't say this. We didn't go there, and I cut in on you, and I'm gonna come back. But the sheriff is probably going to be unforgiving for the way some folks have thrown him to the wolves for 15 seconds on Fox 5.
Well, let me say this. Anyone who's running for sheriff or want to run for sheriff, they're going to inherit the same problem. They're going to inherit this problem because
he did.
It's not going away. It's not going away until the system is fixed. The system has to be fixed. It's the system. Again, if you got somebody that's in jail 10 years sitting in a jail, not a prison, but a jail, which is supposed to be a temporary housing until they go to court, until they go to court and they have received their sentence to be set free, to pay a bond, to be a probation, or to be going on to the state facility for time to be served, right? So, but it's not made to house people there permanently to carry out their sentence. It's not. That's what the state prisons are for. So we have, and every city in the county is bringing their inmates or their prisoners. I won't say inmates because they're prisoners. They don't be inmates until they actually really, I think they said until they actually are in state custody, then they become inmates. Right now they're just prisoners. But the prisoners that they have, that they're housing, well, if all of the cities send their inmates or their prisoners to the county jail, and every day you got all these cities bringing 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different people who violated and committed a crime to the county jail, and as you eloquently said, and you're not releasing anybody, not releasing people like that, then where they gonna sleep? Where they gonna go? What's gonna happen? in an overcrowded, dilapidated, ran down jail facility, right? Then you have a staffing problem, right? Because people don't want to work in the jail no more. You can't get people to work hardly at McDonald's no more. Let's not talk about working in jail. I'm just saying these are a lot of problems that came out in that committee hearing. And I would suggest to anybody that's really serious and want to know more about it, go out to YouTube and look at 350 cap. Go out to 350 cap and you'll see that Senate hearing as they were there talking about the Fulton County Jail, so you can find out more about it. Don't listen to what the naysayers are saying. Find out for the facts for yourself. Find out what's really going on. Now, Shanan, I want to leave that subject now, and I want to move on to another topic if you so oblige.
This is the jail. It's the jail. All right. Yeah. It's just simple mathematics. And there's nothing can come out here. You can let stuff out, but nothing comes out. This is the and we just keep putting stuff in there, and all of a sudden what's getting ready to happen, the thing is coming loose. It's getting ready to bust loose, and we don't pull nothing out so the things can fit in we just keep adding to it every hour, and pretty soon it's gonna bust open, and them rowboats that they in, when that water main bust and all that, they're gonna be on them boats, and they're gonna be on them boats canoeing right down Rice Street. Coming out of there. So we need to really look at something and some solutions about this. But we'll talk about it. Go ahead. Let's move on.
Yeah, we're gonna talk more about it. We're gonna talk more about it. But I wanted the people to see your illustration.
Well,
I wanted them to see your illustration. The other thing, we dealing with worldwide news and we're dealing with national news. We've dealt with the county. Now we want to deal with, let's deal with some stuff that's going on with Donald Trump and his kids now. I found out something today that I was privy to be a part of this meeting on reparation. And it was told by someone doing research, an Asian professor at Georgia Tech, was sharing that $260 billion are lost in Fulton County from people who own businesses, major corporations, because they pay these firms or people like what Donald Trump did to reassess or to look at their property and reassess the appraised value and then get them to reduce the appraised value of their property, right? Now, I'm like, wow, that's real. That's what they do. And if you turn it down the first time, they come back 4 or 5 more times and then they do it. But the average citizen who's paying the taxes, which they don't go and get their taxes reappraised. When they say that's what it is, they just go with it and they don't have the time nor the patience or the wherewithal to fill out the paperwork to get their property appraised so they can get their appraised value taken down, right? Now, we know in Donald Trump's case was the appraised value was one thing, but then when it meant to borrow money, it was higher than it was lower, right? So, but he wanted his property to be appraised higher so he could get what? The loan, more money for the loan, right? But he wanted it to lower it so he would have to pay lower taxes, right?
Right.
So how much of that going on around here in Fulton County and some of these other places with these businesses, right?
How much?
Where you and I and do what now?
I said, how much of that fraud you mean?
Yeah, that fraud is going on. When you and I and our grandparents and parents and stuff like that paid their taxes, paying their taxes on time, and many people losing their property because they can't pay taxes and they're being sold on the courthouse step because of the fact that they can't pay those tax bills to invest the capital of these different companies that buy these tax liens, right? Man, this stuff is crazy. But it opened my eyes to that when they said that tonight, because I thought about Donald Trump and his kids. What they doing. They had to learn from someplace else. I mean, in order for them to do it, because that's what they did, right? So now they possibly more than likely they're going to be out of business if the judge ruled that they broke the law in doing that. And I understand that Letitia James now is working with the DA of that county, to bring criminal charges against them for doing what they did. So that's a possible another criminal charge on Donald Trump. Now Donald Trump and his siblings. Whew. But this thing is getting deeper and deeper and deeper.
It's getting deeper, and Donald Trump Jr. sat there like he didn't know that Donald Trump was his father, and that the company was put in his hands. Now, Trump had a press conference in 2016 where he had about 800 pages, folders up on a table, and he said, "These are papers, these are things that I've just signed to turn over control of my interest to my children, to my sons, because his daughter was in the administration with him." And but heck, Donald Jr. said he was a real estate broker. Like I didn't know about all that. That was the finance office. I don't know about all that. Wait a minute, your father said he signed all these. Look, I don't know. Look, I don't know anything. I'm just a real estate broker. That's all I am. And what's getting ready to happen is he's about to be broker and broker when they get through with this. But the interesting thing is this morning on Morning Joe, they had Ron DeSantis on. And Joe Scarborough asked DeSantis, man, what you said, it seemed like this thing getting deeper and deeper. You know, all these cases. What do you think about this? Never in the history have we had someone running for president. And DeSantis says, hey, he said it's helping him. He said every case helps him. This is his opponent saying this. He's saying these cases are only helping him. And then they showed his polling. In one poll, DeSantis was at 20%, Trump was at 60%. Then they did another poll where he was at 30%, DeSantis was at 30%, Trump was at 50-something percent. So it's the craziest thing with what's going on. And then there was another poll that went against the three top candidates, the top independent candidate, Democrat nominee, and the presumptive Republican nominee, and had Donald Trump and Biden in the 30s, and had both in the high 30s, and it had Kennedy at 22% coming up as independent. So it's interesting how all this is turning out in terms of, you know, is this man going to really be the nominee? Or I've heard one guy say that in 2024, if he's in jail, would he be elected? I'm just as confused. I took civics. I took world history 101, too. I took history, presidential history, history of the United States Constitution. I've taken congressional history, statutory law classes, journalism. I've never seen what is going on. What's happening in America and in the world, but in America, what's going on today? And let's stay with Trump. Let's don't even get on Tommy Tuberville and got folk having heart attacks and stuff, and he holding up the whole military, and now we had almost in World War III. It's a lot going on with that globe behind you. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, well, you know, I mean, well, it is a lot going on, but it really is. It's really, you know, Pence said, I'm out of here. Pence, I don't even want to be bothered with it no more. I'm out. Just leave me alone. Yeah. I'm out. Yeah. I'm out. I'm gone. Yeah. I'm going to do what I need to do in testifying when it's time for me to testify, but I'm through with this. It's too much. It's not my time. I'm not going to waste any more time and waste any more money. I'm going home to my family and just live out the balance of my days as having been the former vice president and the governor and all those other things that I've done. But I'm out. Because this is too crazy. It makes no sense.
And
it makes absolutely no sense. And Mitt Romney too. Mitt Romney did the same thing. Yeah, he did the same thing.
It's like the same folks. Yeah, it's like the Republicans we know are moving out, and now there's some Republicans we don't know, who the Republicans we do know are saying, really, they're not Republican. They're more Rhino, Republican in name only, but not in the traditional way that Rhino is used. The Rhino
Right.
Republican name only is generally like someone that has liberal values, but they have Republican name, or ultrally moderate Republican values that turn over towards more democratic thinking, more liberal thinking, and but they are Republican. But this Rhino is different because it's beyond it's beyond the line of where the Republicans have drawn their line. They've crossed that line now and gone into something else. And it's the party of Trump. It's really the party of Trump. Whether he
Well, I
becomes
think
president or not, it's the party of
I,
Donald Trump.
it is. But you know what? This is what I know. This is what I do know. I do know that those things that people think that they're doing and they're orchestrating with the 2025 project and all these other things they're doing, you know, the big money people and how they're trying to control this country and the narrative and things that they're showing and making good people look bad and bad people look good. I mean, it's crazy because there's no way that Liz Cheney and all the things that she stood for, and I didn't agree with everything with Liz Cheney, but one thing, she was definitely for this country and staying true to the Constitution of the United States of America. And she knew, like our former the state U.S. Senator, not Max Cleveland, but Johnny Ison, those people understood how to deal with bipartisan politics and cross the aisle and agree to disagree. But those things that we can agree on, let's agree on it and let's work for the greater good of our country and the people of our country. This party is lockstep on, we're going to do it this way and you're going to go our way, it's our way or no way. When you got people like that, Matt Gaetz, and you got people like Marjorie Taylor Greene and some of those other people that are running this party, I mean, you know, they X'd out Jim Jordan. Man, they X'd out Jim Jordan. Why did they X out Jim Jordan? Jim Jordan was polarizing. But they got somebody that look all, you know, he looks the part. He looks the part, but he is a Jim Jordan, just more refined. More refined. You know, I mean, so these people are vicious. They are like Donald Trump. You did this to me, I'm going to do it to you. The late Jimmy Cagney, this before your time, you may not remember this, you may not remember, I know your dad do, and people of my generation do. Jimmy Cagney played a part of a gangster. And he said, your brother killed my brother, and my brother killed your brother, and I'm going to kill you. So, I mean, so it's a get back, it's a get back, it's a get back, it's a get back. So, I mean, but that's what this party has become. It's not about the people anymore. It's not about the people. It's about vengeance. It's about getting back. It's not about what's good for America anymore and
It's
the
not
people
even
who
about
live in
legislation.
America.
It's not
Do it
even
now?
about legislation because
No, it's
Jim
not.
Jordan had passed one bill since he's been there.
Not one.
So it's not even about and they call themselves a deliberative body. Well, what are they? Pray tell, what are they deliberating over? I mean, you know,
I can tell you what they're
are they
delivering.
doing in terms of?
No, Shannon, let me stop you for a minute. I tell you what they're delivering. Hatred, hatred,
Yeah,
hatred, 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 and more hatred. That's what they're delivering. They're
right.
delivering
So
hatred
when my
and the
position
demise of this
is,
country.
so when my
Do what now?
position is, when my position is that this is my way or the highway, that's against the legislative process to begin with, because you got to work across party lines to get things done. If you stay in silos, you can only go so far, and eventually it's gonna bust, and you're gonna get voted out, and they're gonna do, and then that's gonna move. The best way to work this thing is the way Kennedy and others did, the way Isaacson and others did, the way Max Cleveland and others did, and that was to work across party. Because if you go to Washington and you go in the back rooms of these guys are, you know, folks, the toothless cats down in Willacoochee, Georgia, think that these people are actually hating each other, but they're at cocktail parties slapping each other on the back and laughing together. Their children they're each other's godparents, children's godparents, and stuff like that. They're playing to the cheap seats. instead of playing up what America should be. And that's the tension of where we are. And the acid test to move us forward is somebody to come in and say, we have to break this thing, get out of the silos, create bridges again, and be able to work across party lines. But the party of Trump is not interested in that. It's interested in white survival. It's interested in it has a hermeneutic of suspicion, an interpretation, a suspicious interpretation of what a browning of America would be. That I have a belief that the browning of America would cause me to be the new dark guy. And I don't want to be the dark guy. I don't want to be the marginalized guy. I don't want to lose the power when I created this country to vest all the power in me and dole it out to others. I don't want to lose my power. So I do whatever I got to do to be able to do it. And that's how Marjorie Taylor Lies and Matt Gaetz is. That's the oxygen that gives them breath, that allows them to breathe and live.
Well, I don't disagree. I agree with you 100% on that. And, I don't have anything else to say about that. But I do want to say we are in prayerful for, as we move from this to what's going on around the world with wars and rumors of war. I'm in prayer for the people of Palestine. I'm in prayer for the people of Israel. I'm in prayer for those families that are being lost because people have made decision. This is what they're going to do. So we need to pray for those individuals because, it's somebody, we need to have peace. It needs to be peace. We need to pray for peace in those areas. We need to pray for peace in Ukraine because Ukraine has like an afterthought, right? When those people are still over there being bombed, and those people still being killed. Do what now?
I hadn't heard anything about Ukraine about a month. Zelensky, I literally learned how to say Zelensky because I heard it so much. I could say Zelensky like I could say supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. I mean, I heard it so much. It was so much. And now I'm gonna be slurring his name again when he comes back because I'm not gonna know how to say this stuff. Because if the news was all Trump and Ukraine, that's the news. That's been the news. If you only watch the mainstream cable news shows, that's all they've been talking about. Zelensky's out there. He buzzing me now with this going on, and the Senate, Tommy Tuberville, holding up all of these hundreds of permanent commanders to be able to move in, and the Army, the U.S. Army, is running these commercials. They're trying to get folks to re-enlist again. We have a crisis in terms of defense in this country, and yet we're defending other countries, right? And you have to stand with your partners, your family, and your friends. You got to do that, but you also have to be able to defend the home front. And God forbid that something that the FBI is right, and that something is getting ready to happen on the homeland.
Well, we're going to pray. We're going to be prayerful. And Shanan, we're going to come back and we're going to have more conversation as we go around the world with Straight Talk with Judge Truly, Greg Fann, the Preacher Man, and Shanan E. Jones. Listen, hey, send us those likes, send us those subscribe. You can subscribe to the channel. It's absolutely free. Send us comments. We'd like to hear what you have to say. And do share. Do share. And every time I go out, Shanan, and people say, do what now? So what, Miss C?
That was good. That was good.
You say something, Miss C?
You ain't no Miss C, but that was good.
Oh, okay.
That was good. I saw what you did there. I saw what you did. Miss C, we praying for you. Hurry up, get on back now.
Watch yourself, son. Watch yourself before you be by yourself. Let me tell you, listen.
Turn around and wreck yourself.
What we need for you to do, honestly, what we need for you to do, we need for you to subscribe to the channel. Just subscribe. It costs you absolutely nothing. Just subscribe. So each week when we come on, you'll know it. And you can make your comments, you can share, you can subscribe, and you can like us. Listen, won't you do that? Now, what we're going to do, we're around the world. This is our new set, Around the World. And if you have topics, things that we want to talk about around the world, we will do that. Shannon, I want to talk about a little about that smoking stuff, too, about these menthol cigarettes. We're going to be talking about that, too, right, Shannon? We're going to be sharing more and more with you. And for those of you who don't know about the 2025 project, I've gone around, Shannon, met with the Black Caucus on this past weekend over the Bishop Blackett Church, and I asked the question, how many people know about the 2025 project? Buddy, we got elected officials don't know about the 2025 project. You better wake up. You better wake up. Because I'm telling you, they're coming at us to try to create a dictatorship and do away with democracy. And when we voted the last time, we voted to save democracy. That's why people turn out in record numbers to vote for Mr. Biden. But they have a plan to take this country. That's why you think Trump always, he praised every dictator. All the people that he praised are dictators. He want to be one of them. The Republicans want to have one of them. We don't need a dictator. We need to keep our democracy intact. Check us out right here on Straight Talk with yours to the Greg Fann, the Preacher Man, and Shanan E. Jones. Until next week, this ain't been nothing but what, Shanan? Straight Talk!
Want to be a guest on Straight Talk? Email Greg Fann at FANN922 at Comcast.net or call 404-308-0795. Join us again for another episode of Straight Talk with Shanan Jones and Greg Fann.